to your case, so feel free to hang out, but.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Daly, you represent Aaron Schisler.
Yes.
I'm gonna see, I've got a couple people logged in that just say iPhones. Let's see if I can find them. And Miss Van Dusen. I guess Miss Adams, we could start with Miss McKay from the jail.
Okay.
All right, I have a gentleman joining me on an iPhone. What is your name, sir?
Zachary McFarland.
All right, I'm gonna change your screen name.
Yes, ma'am.
Who's your attorney?
It was supposed to be Sam Millarno, but from my understanding, he can't be here today for personal issues, so I don't know who he has filling in.
Right,
He's going to be there.
Okay.
Yeah.
right, he may be here today, so I'm just gonna put his initials after your name. So he's probably down in front of Judge Olsaver because Judge Olsaver has a murder trial continuing, so we're trying to get his court done first. So I'm gonna change your screen name and I'm gonna pop you in the waiting room, sir. Thank you.
So,
Okay, let's do this. Well, all right, I have somebody who's called in on an iPhone and connected. Can I ask your name, please?
Rodney Hill.
All right, good morning, Mr. Hill. All right, your
Hello?
attorney is Mr. Millarno. Mr. Millarno is going to probably be down the hall first because my benchmate has a murder trial starting at 10:30. So we're trying to get the cases in front of him done first. So I've changed your screen name and I'm gonna pop you in the waiting room. And when Mr. Millarno gets here, I'll bring you back in, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you, Mr. Hill. All right, I have someone else who's called in on an iPhone. I've just sent you a request to unmute your device.
Present.
All right, what is your name?
Michael Lewis.
All right, good morning, Mr. Lewis. And let me look here. All right, Mr. Lewis. Is that one of our pickups? Miss Adams, I have Michael Lewis. And I don't have a file for Mr. Michael Lewis. Miss Adams, it would be Lewis. Do you have your notice of hearing, Mr. Lewis?
No, I don't.
Okay, all right. So I'm waiting for Miss Adams and she was just stepped away from her desk. So.
Sorry, Judge, I'm here.
Oh, okay. I have Mr. Michael Lewis and could you look up, I believe, is that a criminal matter, Mr. Lewis? Hearing Mr. Lewis?
I believe so.
Okay. Miss Adams, could you look up Michael Lewis?
Does he have a file number? There's quite a few.
No, he doesn't.
It's Miss Underwood, it's FOC.
No, I don't. I don't have him on my docket at all for today.
Judge, I do show a friend of the court show cause for Michael Lewis on Monday, the 17th.
Yes,
Mr. Lewis, I have a friend of the court show cause set for you Monday morning at 8:15 or 8 a.m.
Oh, okay.
All right, so why don't you zoom back in on this number Monday morning at 8?
Okay.
All right, thank you, Mr. Lewis.
No problem.
Okay, so I have another iPhone. I think I'm looking at a ceiling. They're not connected, so let me send a chat to connect to audio. Okay, file. All right, so, right, Mr. Daly. All right, so this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Takaya Serena McKay, file number 2023-21323FH. I have Dawn Van Duzen appearing on behalf of Ms. McKay, and Ms. McKay is present from the jail on Zoom. This is the date and time set for arraignment in this matter. Ms. Van Duzen, do you waive the reading of the felony information?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, and have you received a copy of the prosecutor's request for discovery witness list?
Yes, Your Honor, we're doing that in this district court now. And we also received the information. Your Honor, in this matter, she is going to stand mute and plead not guilty.
All right, I will enter a plea of not guilty on behalf of Ms. McKay. And Ms. Van Duzen, how far out would you like a pretrial?
She has 2 files, so I'd like to make sure they're put together.
May 10?
Yes, please, Your Honor.
Okay, so Ms. McKay, I'm going to enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf. I'll continue your bond, and I will set a pretrial for May 10 at 8:30 in the morning. And because it was arraignment today, we will do the notice of hearing. All right, so we'll see you back May 10 at 8:30 in the morning. Thank you, Ms. McKay.
Can I talk to her real quick for a minute?
Ms. Van Duzen, do you have a moment? I mean, it's up to you. I know we don't have a lot of time this morning.
I don't have a lot of time this morning either. I'll get a hold of her this afternoon.
All right, Ms. McKay, we have about 35 cases on the docket and 1 jail window. So she'll get a hold of you later today, all right?
I just want to know, is this my other, is this for both of them that I'm doing today for May? Is this one for May 10th?
I only have 1 case, and it's an assault with intent to commit great bodily harm. You probably have a couple more cases down in district court that haven't come up yet.
Okay.
All right, thank you, ma'am. All right, Mr. Schisler, let me grab your file. All right, this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Aaron Eugene Schisler, file number 2022-20739FH. I have James Daly appearing on behalf of Mr. Schisler, and I have Isaac Sneed appearing on behalf of the people. I do have in my file a plea agreement form. So, Mr. Daly, how would you like to proceed today? You're muted, Mr. Daly.
I've discussed the plea agreement, Mr. Schisler. He has declined the plea agreement. We'd ask to have this matter set for trial. I would also advise that I've explained to Mr. Schisler that he's looking at a mandatory 2 years in prison if he's convicted on the felony gun charge.
All right, so Mr. Schisler, you are charged in count 1 with felonious assault, count 2 felonious assault, and count 3 a weapons firearm, felony firearm. Felony firearm, as correctly stated, does carry a mandatory 24 months in the Michigan Department of Corrections, which would stack to any other sentence you receive. So if you were convicted of all 3 counts, I could actually stack your sentences consecutively, 1, 2, and 3. So you could potentially be looking up to 4 years in prison. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
The plea offer that's been offered was plead to 1 count of felonious assault. I don't show that you have a prior felony record. Your guidelines would probably mean you're looking at worst case scenario, some county jail time, but most likely probation. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Now you are currently scheduled for trial on, wait, it was today, but Mr. Daly is already in trial, so I need another trial date. Okay. Sorry. Ms. Adams, I am looking for a 1-day trial date, please.
Okay. So on June 1st, you have a 7-day trial starting. And then we've got some backups on day 4. You've got another 2 starting.
Who's the attorney on this and the defendant on the 7-day trial?
That is Christopher Maurer, and the attorney is Mr. Malero.
Okay. Who's back up on day 4?
On day 4, you've got Mark Rowley, and you've also got a civil Dumeier versus Evans.
Day 4 would be all right. What's that date?
June 6th, it's a Tuesday.
Mr. Daly, June 6th, Tuesday at 9 a.m.
That's fine, Judge.
Okay, so I'm going to set this for June 6th of 23 for trial, starting at 9 a.m. I have it set for a 1-day trial. I have filled out a scheduling order, Mr. Daly. I won't set a pretrial if your client decides to avail himself of the plea bargain. Please let the court know and we will accommodate your schedule at any time.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, very good. Thank you, Mr. Schisler. Your bonds continue.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Mr. Daly.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you. Mr. Daly, was that all you had this morning? All right, I have a gentleman on his iPhone wearing a red shirt. What is your name?
Zachary Girth.
Who's your attorney?
Eli, I forget how to pronounce his last name. Starts with an M.
That would be Mawad.
Yes, yes.
All right, so I'm going to do that. All right, I am waiting for Mr. Mawad, so I'm going to pop you in the waiting room while we're waiting for him to meet me next door. Miss Adams, I do have Zachary Ladd with Mr. Daly. If you could let Mr. Daly know, we'll try to get Mr. Ladd on next.
Okay.
Because he went away. Okay. I have a gentleman that's logged in on an iPhone. Sir, what is your name?
Reginald Allen.
Okay, Mr. Allen. And who is your attorney?
Salvador
Mr. Malaro?
Malero, yes.
All right, so Sam Malaro.
Yes.
Okay, so Mr. Malaro is next door taking care of his cases. So he'll be with us shortly. So I'm going to change your screen name and I'm going to pop you in the waiting room, all right?
Okay.
All right, so Ms. Van Dusen, let's go back to you. McKay, Baker, Darren Baker.
Your Honor, we don't have his criminal responsibility back. He is in an AC.
So let me call the case. So in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Darren, Tricia Baker, file number 2000. And Mr. Baker, you want to come up here? Mr. Baker, you want to come up here? Come on up, Mr. Baker. Okay. Might be that. Hold on, Mr. Baker. We're gonna help you up here. There you go. Will you go stand right there for me? Okay. So this is in the matter of people of the state of Michigan versus Darren Baker. We have file number 2022-20898FH, file number 2022-20899 and 2022-20900. I have Dawn Van Dusen appearing on behalf of Mr. Baker, and I have, well, I'm going to go with Isaac Sneed appearing on behalf of the people. So this is a date and time set for pre-trial in this matter, and Dawn Van Dusen. Ms. Van Dusen, go ahead and express that on the record, please, again.
Mr. Baker's criminal responsibility has not even been performed at this time. The order has been in. We have been having trouble even getting a hold of the forensic center. I understand they are backed up, and if you're not incarcerated, it's out over 9 months. I think, in fact, it's been longer than that on his at this time that we sent in the order. So we're still waiting on that, so we can't do anything. So I'm just going to have to ask for another pretrial.
All right, Ms. Adams, because Mr. Baker's here, I'm going to need the notice of hearing to give him. All right, so what I'm going to do is about June 7th at 8:30 for another pretrial. Hopefully we'll have it by then.
And we'll keep trying to contact them.
I think they're speeding up a little bit right now because there was a lawsuit. So
Okay.
I think they're moving a little bit quicker now. So we will set these pre-trials over to June 7th of 2023 at 8:30 in the morning. Mr. Baker, I'm going to get you a notice of hearing showing your next court date. So if you want to just have a seat right behind you, my staff will hand that to you, okay?
Judge, the gentleman, I think it's caretaking for the question.
Can we do a video next time?
You can always do a video.
3 hours away to do it.
No, you can always do a video. Miss Adams, could you also attach our Zoom instructions to the notice of hearing?
Okay.
All right. Okay, so we'll get all of that for you. All right, Mr. Baker, we'll get that paperwork to you in 1 minute. All right. All right, so Ms. Van Dusen, you also have Macy Wilt. Is there a Macy Wilt in the courtroom? Ms. Wilt, you want to come up to the podium? Step up to the podium. This is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Macy Alexandra Wilt, file number 2022-21140FH. I have Dawn Van Dusen appearing on behalf of Ms. Wilt. I have Isaac Sneed appearing on behalf of the people. So this is the time scheduled for pretrial. Ms. Van Dusen, how would you like to proceed?
Your Honor, she would like to plead guilty to the, let's see, receiving and concealing under 200 with no upfront jail as a killabrew.
All right, so Mr. Sneed, let me look. All right, so Mr. Sneed, there's going to be an amended information today filed with the court with a count 2, receiving and concealing stolen property 200 or less.
Yes, Judge.
Okay, and I think that's a 93-day misdemeanor.
Correct.
Okay. All right, so. Is there restitution, Mr. Sneed?
If I could have one moment, good.
Mr. Peters. Thank you. Ms. Adams. All right. While Mr. Sneed's looking that up, Ms. Wilt, you want to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, can you state your full name for the record?
Macy Wilt.
Okay, so Ms. Wilt, you have heard the statement of your attorney and the prosecuting attorney. Is it your intention to plead guilty to an added count 2, receiving and concealing stolen property with a value less than $200, which carries a maximum penalty of up to 93 days in jail, but there is a Killebrew agreement that you would do no upfront jail. So is it your intention to plead guilty to that?
Yes.
All right, so are you satisfied with Ms. Van Dusen and the advice that she's given you?
Yes.
Do you understand that the maximum penalty could be up to 93 days, but the Killebrew means that you will not serve at your initial sentencing 93 days?
Yes.
If you violate probation down the road, though, you could potentially serve that jail time.
Yes.
Okay. Neither, other than that, neither the prosecutor, the defendant, nor anyone on the defendant's behalf has discussed any other possible sentence with the court. Is that correct, Ms. Van Dusen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Sneed?
Yes, Your Honor, and I'd also like to inform the court, all the property was returned to the victim, so I don't suspect there'll be any restitution requested.
Okay, all right. And would you agree that no one's had any discussions with me?
Yes.
Okay. If a guilty plea is accepted, there will be no trial. This means that you will be giving up rights you would have had at trial. I'm going to explain those rights to you now to make sure that you understand them. You have a right to a speedy public trial by jury. You may ask for a non-jury trial, and if the prosecutor and court agree, you can have a non-jury trial. You have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to have the prosecuting attorney prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty, and you do not have to prove anything. You have the right to be present at trial and have witnesses against you appear at your trial and to ask those witnesses questions. You have the right to have the court order any witnesses you have for your defense to appear at the trial. You have the right to remain silent during your trial and not to have your silence used against you. However, you also have the right to testify at your trial if you want to testify. Do you understand that if your plea is accepted, you may be giving up the right to appeal issues that would otherwise be appealable if you were convicted at trial? Do you understand that?
Yes.
You understand that any appeal from the conviction and sentence pursuant to the plea will be by application for leave to appeal and not by right?
Yes.
Okay. If you are not a citizen of the United States of America, the conviction of a crime may result in deportation, exclusion from admission to the United States of America, or denial of naturalization. Do you have any questions about the rights that I've given to you?
No.
How do you wish to plead to the charge that on or about September 29th of 2022 in Palmyra Township in the county of Lenawee, that you did commit the offense of receiving and concealing stolen property to value less than $200?
Guilty.
Okay. Has anyone made any threats or promises to you to induce you to plead guilty to this charge? Do you understand that if I accept this plea, you will be giving up any and all claims that your plea is given as a result of promises or threats that were not disclosed to the court on the record during this hearing, or that it was not your own choice to enter the plea? Do you understand that?
Yes.
Is the prosecutor or defense counsel aware of any promises or threats or inducements other than the plea bargain to induce the defendant to plead guilty? Ms. Van Dusen?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Sneed?
No, Your Honor.
Has your attorney promised you any particular sentence or estimate what your sentence will be other than what was placed on the record?
No.
Is it your own choice to plead guilty?
Yes.
All right, so Ms. Wilt, on September 29th of 2022, were you in Paul Myro Township in the county of Lenawee?
Yes.
Okay, and at that time, did you somehow either buy, possess, conceal, or help conceal a bail elevator, some checks, financial documents, jewelry, etc.?
Yes.
Tell me what happened.
They were the owners of the house, Anthony Domtrap. We got raided and I decided to not talk to the detectives, so I believe that's why I was charged. But I was living there too, so.
So did you hide anything?
I was aware that they were there.
Ms. Van Duzen, can you help me out a little bit?
Yeah. Who is William Byram to you?
My ex-boyfriend.
Okay, and you were staying with Mr. Byram at that time, correct?
He was staying with me.
Okay, and you knew that he had stolen items at your house, is that correct?
I believe that they were Anthony's. They
Oh,
were
okay. And anyways, you did not call the police after knowing they were stolen,
No.
so you concealed them.
Yes.
Okay,
Mr. Sneed, are you satisfied?
Yes, Judge, thank you.
Okay, has the court complied with the MCR 6.302 B, C, and D? Mr. Sneed?
Yes, thank you.
Ms. Van Duzen?
yes, Your Honor.
Accept the plea and has been given understandably, voluntarily, and accurately. The defendant has full knowledge of her rights. She does have competent counsel. This court has made no agreement regarding the possibility of a plea or possible sentence in this case with the prosecutor, the defense attorney, the defendant, or anyone acting in the interest of either of them. Does this case need to be referred for a pre-sentence report and probation, Mr. Sneed?
Technically, there is a victim, Judge, so I believe it would be.
Okay, okay. So I'm going to refer this matter to the probation department for a pre-sentence investigation. It's a misdemeanor plea, so it will be through the district court misdemeanor or the district court probation, okay? So I'm going to set this for sentencing on June 2nd at 8:15 in the morning. Ms. Adams, I'm sorry, could I get a sentencing notice of hearing for Ms. Wilt, just for her? So Ms. Wilt, not tomorrow, but next Thursday, I need you to report down on the first floor to the district court probation office.
Okay.
And they'll meet with you, prepare a report. We'll get that report to Ms. Van Duzen. She'll review that with you before sentencing. And then we'll see you back on June 2nd at 8:15 in the morning for sentencing. Now, Ms. Wilt, there's an agreement that you won't be serving any upfront jail. So you have a choice. You can appear in person or you can appear via Zoom for sentencing. What would you like?
Let's do Zoom.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna write down that we're gonna do that via Zoom. Ms. Wilt, you look like you're in a really good place at this moment, so I'm glad to see that. So have a seat and we'll get you that notice of hearing for sentencing, all right? Here, sit up here, so we can find you just right there. And then we'll do that via Zoom. So next Thursday, a week from tomorrow, you gotta go to district court between 8. Well, who do I have from the jail? Mr. Ladd? Okay, Mr. Ladd, we're just waiting on Mr. Daly. He's your attorney, right? Okay. All right. Miss Adams, are you at your desk?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I didn't know because sometimes you're across the hall, so. All right, Miss Van Duzen.
The only one I have is Christine Morgan. She failed to show up last week. She called. She thought it was tomorrow. For
Right, so
sentencing.
Christine Morgan here in the courtroom. Okay, so Christine Morgan is not in the courtroom.
Okay. I'll try to get a hold of her again.
Let me check, because I got a name in here I don't recognize, so hold on a second. Sometimes they call in on other people's phones. No, that's Kelsey Quinn. Right, so Miss Morgan is not logged in. Okay. So, if you're a named defendant in a case, can you raise your hand? Okay, sir, what's your name?
Like Barton.
What's your last name?
Barton.
All right, Mr. Murphy is your attorney.
Yes.
So I'm gonna mark that you're here in person. Mr. Murphy is next door in front of Judge Olsaver. Judge Olsaver has a murder trial starting at 10:30, so we're getting all of his cases done first. So Mr. Murphy will be down in a minute.
I am all set, Your Honor, then.
All right, so unless she shows up, I think you're all set. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. All right, so Ms. Arnold, Mr. Sneed, and Ms. Brenner, trying to get all of Judge Olsaver's cases done first because he has that trial. So, are
Judge,
either you? Yes, ma'am.
I'm here on Kelsey Quinn, but Eli Muad said he's running about 10 or 15 minutes. He texted me a few minutes ago and said maybe another 10 or 15 minutes. So I have another matter at 9. I believe Mr. Sneed's going to handle this for me, but I just want to let you know what's going on with Mr. Muad.
Okay, thank you.
Right. Thanks.
Judge,
Yes, ma'am.
Daly's office said that Mr. Fry is handling his cases, so I'll try to get a hold of him.
I had Mr. Fry a minute ago, but he logged off again. All right, I'm gonna step off the bench for just a moment.
All right.
You can be seated. All right, Mr. Fry. Are you handling Mr. Ladd today?
Yes.
All right, this file. All right, this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Zachary Lawrence Allen Ladd. This is file number 2022-2116 FH. Mr. Daly is the attorney of record. Mr. Daly is currently in a murder trial that will be starting back up again here shortly. So I have Brian Fry appearing on behalf of Mr. Daly, on behalf of Mr. Ladd. Mr. Ladd is present via Zoom from the jail. And who is Mr. Sneed is my prosecutor in this matter. So, Mr. Fry, how do you wish to proceed today on behalf of Mr. Ladd?
Your Honor, so it is my understanding that Mr. Ladd has a handful of misdemeanors and a few felonies as well in district court. And it's my understanding that he was ordered for a competency evaluation in all those cases that are still in district court. So we'd be asking that he get a competency in this case as well.
Right, so you're asking for an order for evaluation with regard to competency and criminal responsibility?
Correct, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Sneed, do people have any position?
That's the first I've heard of that request, Judge, but I would not take any objection.
Right, so Mr. Fry and Mr. Sneed, correct me if I'm wrong, it may have changed in my day, because I'm old enough now I can say that. The defense attorney did the orders for evaluation. So Mr. Fry, will you or Mr. Daly's office be preparing?
Yes, we can prepare those orders, Your Honor.
All right, so I will grant that request. So Mr. Ladd, that can take a certain length of time. So what I will do is set this out for pretrial on June 2nd at 8:30 in the morning, just to see where we are in the process. So Mr. Ladd, will yes.
Sorry, did you mean to set that on a Friday, or did I put the wrong date in there?
June 7th at 8:30 in the morning. No, I did not want to set that on Friday. So June 7th at 8:30 in the morning. So we'll see back June 7th at 8:30 in the morning. All right, Mr. Ladd?
I've already waited 2.5 months already for the competency test already. So why would I have to wait another month?
I don't think you'd have to wait any longer. It'd probably be joined with those. Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you. We'll see back. Bonds continue. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Nor Miss Corey, I do have Mr. Yancey here. So
Thank you, Judge.
I didn't have you down as the attorney, so I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay, Judge. No worries.
I had Mr. Watts, So let me write your name in.
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Yancey, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, this is in the matter of Jackson Bailey Green Yancey. File number 2022-21041FH. I have Nor Corey. What is your P number, ma'am?
P83669.
Appearing on behalf of Mr. Yancey, and I have Isaac Sneed appearing on behalf of the people. I do have a plea agreement form in my file, signed by Phoebe Muir as well as Ms. Corey and Mr. Yancey, and it states that the plea offer of pleading to an added count 2 aggravated assault, or it's already been amended. So count 2 aggravated assault has been offered to the defendant. So Ms. Corey, does Mr. Yancey wish to avail himself of the plea bargain?
He does. And I do want to note the plea bargain also has a sentencing agreement between the prosecutor and the defendant for no upfront jail time.
Yes, it states that sentence agreement to no initial incarceration.
Yep, and defendant is prepared to proceed guilty to that amended.
So Mr. Yancey, you are sitting in front of a window, so you kind of just look like a blob to me. So can you change it up so I can see your face, get some more light on your face so I can see? There you go. Okay, see, now I can see you're wearing a nice suit and you're prepared for trial in a proper manner. All right, so no upfront jail at sentencing. All right, and Ms. Corey, my sentencing date that I'm using is June 2nd at 8:15 via Zoom. Would you be available that day?
June 2nd. Yes, I will be available on June 2nd.
And that would be at 8:15 via Zoom. All right. So Mr. Yancey, you want to raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So Mr. Yancey, you have heard the statement of your attorney and the prosecuting attorney. Is it your intention to plead guilty to count 2, assault aggravated, which carries a maximum penalty of up to 1 year in jail and or a $1,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, do you understand the plea offer means that you would do no upfront jail, but if you were to violate probation down the line, do you understand you could be facing a jail term? Do you understand that? Oh, wait, no, I lost him for a minute. Did you hear me, Mr. Yancey, or do you want me to repeat that?
Will you repeat that? Sorry, it cut out.
Sure. So it's your intention to plead guilty to count 2 aggravated assault that carries a maximum penalty of up to 1 year in jail, but there is a Killebrew agreement that there would be no upfront jail. But do you understand if you were to violate probation, you could then receive jail at the violation of probation? Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Are you satisfied with Ms. Curry and the advice that she has given you?
I am.
Okay. Other than the agreement that was written in the plea agreement, neither the prosecutor, the defendant, nor anyone on the defendant's behalf has discussed any other sentence with the court. Is that correct, Mr. Steve?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Is that correct, Ms. Corey?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Yancey, is that correct as far as you're aware?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. If a guilty plea is accepted, there will be no trial. This means that you will be giving up rights you would have had at trial. I'm going to explain those rights to you now to make sure that you understand them. Okay, ma'am, I'm going to ask you to turn off your phone. That's the second time it's rang. So either mute it or turn off your volume. And if you don't know how to do that, you're going to have to shut off your phone. All right? Okay, thank you. You do have a right to a speedy public trial by jury. You may ask for a non-jury trial, and if the prosecutor and court agree, you can have a non-jury trial. You have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to have the prosecuting attorney prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty, and you do not have to prove anything. You have the right to be present at trial and have witnesses against you appear at your trial and to ask those witnesses questions. You have the right to have the court order any witnesses you have for your defense to appear at the trial. You have the right to remain silent during your trial, not to have your silence used against you. However, you also have the right to testify at your trial if you want to testify. Do you understand that if your plea is accepted, you may be giving up the right to appeal issues that would otherwise be appealable if you were convicted at trial? Do you understand that, Mr. Yancey?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you are, do you understand that any appeal from the conviction and sentence pursuant to the plea will be by application for leave to appeal and not by right? Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
If you are not a citizen of the United States of America, a conviction of a crime may result in deportation, exclusion from admission to the United States of America, or denial of naturalization. Do you have any questions about the rights that I've given to you?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so Mr. Yancey, how do you wish to plead to the charge that on or about June 25th of 2022, in the city of Adrian in the county of Lenawee, that you did commit the offense of aggravated assault? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Has anyone made any threats or promises to you to induce you to plead guilty to this charge other than what was placed on the record?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you understand if I accept the plea, you will be giving up any and all claims that your plea is given as a result of promises or threats that were not disclosed to the court on the record during the hearing, or it was not your own choice to enter your plea? Do you understand that?
Yes.
Is the prosecutor or defense counsel aware of any promises or threats or inducements other than the plea bargain to induce the defendant to plead guilty? Mr. Steen?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Corey?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Other than the agreement that was placed on the record, Mr. Yancey, has your attorney promised you any particular sentence or estimated what the sentence will be in terms of fines and costs, probation terms, etc.?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Is it your own choice to plead guilty?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So, sir, on June 25th of 2022, we're in the city of Hudson in the county of Lenawee.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and at that time, were you in the present, and I'm not going to use his name, but were you in the presence of an individual with the initials of DH?
Yes.
Okay, and at that time, did you have a knife?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so Ms. Corey, perhaps you could voir dire him to get the factual basis for the plea?
Yes. Mr. Yancey, did you come in contact with the complainant in this case with those initials?
Yes.
And at that point, did you try to cause physical harm to the complainant?
Yes.
Did you threaten him that you were gonna cause physical harm?
Yes.
And did you, while you threatened him, did you get closer to his face and body to the point where you caused him to fear you and to fear imminent harm from you?
Yes, I did.
And as a result, did you guys get into an altercation?
We did.
And did that cause the complainant to fall down on the cement floor and cause and suffer serious injury to his body?
Yes.
Judge, I'm satisfied if the court is satisfied.
Mr. Sneed?
People are satisfied. Thank you, Ms. Corey.
Thank you.
Has the court complied with the MCR 6.302 B, C, and D? Mr. Sneed?
Yes, thank you, Judge.
Ms. Corey?
Yes.
I accept the plea. It has been given understandably, voluntarily, and accurately. The defendant has full knowledge of his rights. He does have competent counsel. Other than the Killebrew agreement that was placed on the record, this court has made no agreement regarding the possibility of a plea or possible sentence in this case with the prosecutor, the defense attorney, the defendant, or anyone acting in the interest of either of them. I'm going to refer this matter to the district court probation office for a pre-sentence investigation. Mr. Yancey, this is a misdemeanor plea. So your probation and sentence would be handled by our district court probation. So next Thursday between 8 and 10 a.m., I need you to report to the courthouse on the first floor to the district court probation. and check in, give them your name. They'll give you further instructions. When you meet with them, be truthful about your background, the events that occurred. They'll prepare a pre-sentence report. We will make sure a copy is provided to Ms. Corey. She will review that with you prior to sentencing, and we'll see you back on June 2nd at 8:15. Mr. Yancey, because there's an agreement for no upfront jail, you can appear for sentencing via Zoom. Do you want to appear via Zoom like you did today?
Yes, ma'am, that would be fun.
Okay, very good. So a week from tomorrow, you need to go to district court probation on Thursday. I guess that would be Thursday, April. Gosh, is it already the 12th? So it'd be April 20th at between 8 and 10. All right.
Perfect. Thank you
Yes,
so
ma'am.
much, Judge.
Okay, thank you both.
Thank you.
Do you have Mr. Rowley in the courtroom?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Mr. Mawad, I have your people here, but I might lose Mr. Dagger-Margosian, so I'm gonna take him first, okay, because he was here first. All right, Mr. Rowley, you wanna step up? I'm gonna write you first name. 1 second. Mr. Rowley. All right, this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Joshua Dexter Rowley, ROWLEE, file number 2023-21210, no, 23-21263FH, and Michael Dagger-Margosian appearing on behalf of Mr. Rowley. Mr. Rowley is also present in the courtroom. Your address is Kalamazoo.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then I have Isaac Sneed appearing on behalf of the people. This is the date and time set for pretrial in this matter. Mr. Dagger-Margosian, I'm looking, he posted mine. This is a first pretrial. So Mr. Dagger-Margosian, how do you wish to proceed today?
Your Honor, I'm asking for an adjournment. I think it would make sense to have a house discussion with Your Honor, but I don't think today.
No.
Yeah, I figured. So if we could just adjourn it, I will set that up with your staff and I.
Oh, I can give you a date now. How far out?
Sure. Oh, I meant for the
Right.
discussion.
Miss Adams, well, we can set that. But how
Yeah.
far out do you want us pretrial, like my next available?
Maybe.
May 10th is my next one.
May 10th is perfect.
Okay. And Mr. Rowley is present in the courtroom, Miss Adams, so could I get a notice of hearing for Mr. Rowley? I'm gonna set pretrial for May 10 of 2023 at 8:30 in the morning. Mr. Rowley, you are able to appear via Zoom?
Yes.
So do you have Zoom instructions?
I know how to log into it.
Do you have my?
I didn't, I'm sorry, I misunderstood. I didn't know I was eligible for it. I'm sorry.
Okay, so Miss Adams, could you attach to the notice of hearing Zoom instructions? So you can appear via Zoom unless I tell you you can't.
Gotcha.
Got it? All right, so Mr. Dagger-Margosian will set this over to May 10th of 23 at 8:30 in the morning. Because he's present in person, my staff will do the notice of hearing. And then he can appear via Zoom, and then we'll set up a chat with myself, you, and Mr. Steve. All right?
That's perfect. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, you're all set. Have a seat right there on that bench behind you, and we will get you a notice.
Thank you.
Dagger-Margosian, that's the only one I had?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so, Mr. Mawad, I have Kelsey, Quinn, and Zachary Girth. I have, let's go with Mr. Girth first. Mr. You just told me, oh, okay. Totally have a seat, but I can't. All right, so Mr. Girth, can you hear me? Go ahead and unmute your device, Mr. Girth.
Yes, I can.
All right, excellent. So this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Zachary Kyle Girth, files number 2023-21268FH and 2023-21269FH. I have Elias Mawad, what's your P number 41632, appearing on behalf of the defendant, and I have Isaac Sneed appearing on behalf of the people. This is a date and time set for pre-trial. So Mr. Mawad, how would you like to proceed today on behalf of Mr. Girth?
Judge, and Isaac, we have a plea worked out. I just need Alex to send me the plea agreement. And Judge, if you want to adjourn it a week or two, depending upon if you can fit this in, it will be a plea. I just want to get the plea agreement, go through it with Zachary, sign it, get it back to Alex, and then go from there.
Would May 3rd be okay? That's 3 weeks, but is that okay?
Sure, sure.
All right. So I'm going to set pre-trial for May 3rd at 8:30 in the morning, and that'll be via Zoom again. And Mr. Mawad, you'll do the step in order to adjourn?
Yep, Mr. Sneed, can I sign your name? Is that okay?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so Mr. Girth, just zoom back in on May 3rd at 8:30 in the morning, like you did today, same number. And I look forward to seeing you back. Thank you, Mr. Girth.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Now
Bye.
I do have Casey Quinn, Mr. Mawad, by Mr. Girth. Profile. What court are you in, Mr. Mawad?
I am in Rochester Hills District Court, and I had to do a plea on a DV, so it worked out fine. Thank you
Okay,
for waiting,
thanks.
Judge. Thank you for waiting. I'm sorry for the delay.
I didn't hear you. The audio wasn't on.
Okay, Ms. Quinn. All right, can you hear me now, Ms. Quinn? All
Yes.
right, this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Kelsey Leanne Quinn, file number 2022-21168FH. I have Elias Mawad, P41632, appearing on behalf of Ms. Quinn, and I have Isaac Sneed appearing on behalf of the people. This is a date and time scheduled for a first pre-trial in this matter. So, Mr. Mawad, how do you wish to proceed today?
Your Honor, I talked to Allison Arnold. Ms. Quinn is a witness in a CSC case. We'd like to kick it till June, I think, Isaac. I think the pre-trial for the other case is sometime in May, but maybe beginning of June, if the court would do that, or the end of May, and we can see where we're going with it.
So I could do June 14, June 21, or June 28. Which one would you like?
Let's pick June 14th, and then that way we can keep tracking it and see where we go with it.
All right, so I will set this for another pre-trial on June 14, 23 at 8:30 in the morning. And Mr. Mawad, you'll do the step in order to adjourn.
I will, Judge. Thank you. And Mr. Sneed, I can sign your name?
Yes, please.
Thank
All
you.
right, so Ms. Quinn, we're adjourning this out to that day, same Zoom number, and we'll see you back at that time, all right?
Okay, thank you.
All right, Kelsey,
thank
call me later on. I'll tell you what's going on, but this is to your benefit, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Thanks, Judge. Good to see you. Bye, Isaac.
Good to see you too. Bye, Mr. Mawad.
Bye.
All right, Ms. Quinn, you are all set.
All right, thank you.
All right. Okay, so I'm heavy on defendants, heavy on prosecutors. My defense attorneys are done. Recognize him as an attorney, so. All right, so, Mr. Sneed. I don't, so Ms. Adams, I guess I can do some of the pickups.
Okay.
I don't know if Mr. Johnson was appointed counsel. On any of his for front of the court. So I guess I can start with Mr. Johnson. I can't remember who, oh, Amy Fetzer Wallet is the caseworker on that one.
Judge Miss Fetzer Wallet is logging in now.
Okay, thank you. I don't know if we'll get the defendant, but. Okay.
That's okay. That's okay.
Miss Adams, on Justin Clement, do we know if a pre-sentence report was already prepared on that one?
Let me check.
Would have been sentencing on August of 22.
Yes, there was.
Okay, perfect. All right. Good morning, Mr. Malaro. All right, raise your hand in the courtroom if you have Salvatore Malaro. Anybody? Anybody? No. All right, Mr. Malaro, I can start with Zachary McFarland.
Okay.
So grab his files. Mr. McFarland?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I do have Mr. Malaro. So this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Zachary Michael McFarland, file number 2022-21053FH. In that criminal file, this is the date and time set for pretrial. I also have file number 2022-49695PP. And that is looks like an arraignment, rearrangement of a show cause or violation of a personal protection order. Hold on a second. So he has alleged violation of a personal protection order on February 22nd of 2023, which is the one we were previously here for and you were appointed for, but I don't know what this is. Okay, same, it must be just extra paperwork. All right, so Mr. Malaro represents Mr. McFarland on both files, and we have Isaac Sneed appearing on behalf of people, video on. All right, so Mr. Malaro, how do you wish to proceed with regard to Mr. McFarland?
Yeah, I was trying to find a resolution with Miss Meir. I don't know, is Mr. Sneed now assigned to the case or?
Well, Mr. Sneed is my Wednesday man, so he's
okay.
the prosecutor that's
all
here
right.
on all my cases on Wednesday morning.
I'm not, I must have missed the memo how that was working. So, all right, I'm trying to work
Just
this
like
out.
you're my public defender and he's my prosecutor.
Actually, it's not the case anymore. Sorry, you must not got that memo.
I didn't get that memo.
Anyways, Judge, I'm trying to resolve this with Miss Meir. I'd ask if we could adjourn it one more time to see if we can work this out.
Okay, so my next available date is May 31 at 8:30 in the morning. So I will set this out to May 31 at 8:30 in the morning. Both files. And on the criminal file, Mr. Malaro, you can do the stip in order to adjourn, and then we do the notice on personal protection order file. All right?
Yeah, Judge, just a matter of housekeeping. I'm showing 2 show causes on PPs, 2 PP files.
I show that, this is kind of weird. So I show that we were here back in February, and I show there's a March 8th of 2023 filed proof of service showing served them on February 8th. There might be another one. So there's, let me see here. I have violation that was alleged on December 14th of 22. And an alleged violation. December 14, 22. Oh, yeah, no, still December 14 of 22.
I hear you. I'll let you off.
Oh, wait, there's another one way back on July 17th of 22. So that's 2.
Okay, so, all right, I just wanted to make sure weren't missing anything.
Right, no, we've been adjourning it out, so. I know.
Okay.
All right.
Let's see if we can get this worked out, Judge.
Okay, and so, Mr. McFarland, we will see you back on those days, all right?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you have a good day. Thank you.
You too. Thank you.
I flagged all those, so I won't miss them next time. All right, let's see who else we have for you. Mr. Lauro. All right, Miss Adams, could you let the jail know I could take Mr. Mota?
Okay.
All right, Mr. Millar, I have Bridget Reinhardt. So I'm letting her in. Ms. Reinhardt, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Bridget Susan Reinhardt, file number 2021. -20279FH of Salvatore Milaro appearing on behalf of Ms. Reinhardt, and I have Isaac Sneed appearing on behalf of the people. This is date and time scheduled for pretrial. This is a case where we were trying to get an accountant to review documents. So, Mr. Milaro and Mr. Sneed, what is an update on that?
So, Your Honor, I received a supplemental from the prosecutor's office, and Ms. Reinhardt and I have been trying to get together to review that. So I think at this point, we could either do one more pretrial or set the matter for trial and go from there.
All right. So, Mr. Sneed, any objection if I just set it for one more pretrial?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, so I will set this for pretrial on May 24th at 8:30 in the morning. Mr. Milaro, you can do the stip in order to adjourn. Mr. Sneed, can you sign your name with permission?
Yes, thank you.
All right, so Ms. Reinhardt, we will see you back on May 24 at 8:30 in the morning, and make sure you get in to see Mr. Milaro, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Judge.
You're all set, Ms. Reinhardt. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
All right, you too. All right, I have someone joining me from the jail. Can I ask what your name is?
Troy Johnson.
Mr. Johnson, okay. Oh, I didn't want it. No, I just want to know if you had to send it out, but thank you. All right, hold on, Mr. Johnson.
Yes, ma'am.
This is in the matter of Tanya M. Epps, EPPSE versus Troy Tavel Johnson Senior, file number 2008-32407UN. So, Mr. Johnson, we are here on two things. One is a show cause for failure to appear for a friend of court hearing in front of this court on October 17th of 2000.
I never received a letter for that, or I would have went to court.
Mr. Johnson, I'm going to go through and explain why we're here, and then I'm going to ask you a couple questions, all right?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so Mr. Johnson, two things we're here for. One is failure to appear for a show cause hearing on October 17th of 22. You were given notice of that date on the record on September 19th of 22 when you were here, and I gave you a PR bond and ordered you to report to front of the court. So you were given notice verbally on the record, and your release paperwork from the jail would have had that date. And it is alleged you failed to appear on October 17th of 22. Now, we're also here because you are ordered to pay $166.70 a month on your arrearages, and your arrearages at this point are $25,733.35. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do, ma'am.
Now, Mr. Johnson, you do have the right to have an attorney represent you at this and all subsequent hearings. If you can't afford to hire an attorney, I can appoint you one at public expense. Would you like an attorney appointed to represent you?
No, I'm all right.
Right, you wish to proceed? So do you want an attorney? Yes?
No.
Okay. Mr. Johnson, are you able to hear and understand me?
Yes, ma'am.
And knowing you can't get in trouble for it, are you under the influence of anything that would make it difficult for you to understand the proceedings?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Johnson, do you understand those are the two things we're here for today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So, Mr. Johnson, on a contempt of court, you have 3 prior contempts. So understand, if you plead guilty or found guilty, you could be facing up to 90 days in jail. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, knowing that, do you still wish to waive your right to have an attorney represent you here today?
Yes,
okay. All right. So, Mr. Johnson, you were ordered to pay $166 a month. $166.70 a month on your arrearages. The last payment we received was $321.67 back in June of 2021. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, Miss Amazon.
Okay. And when we were last here on September 19th of 22, I released you on a PR bond, ordered you to report to front of the court. Listen to me, upon your release, and I adjourned the hearing to October 17th. You never reported to front of the court, and you never appeared for court again. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
So how do you wish to plead to the charge that you failed to report to front of the court upon your release from jail and failed to appear for your hearing on October 17th of 22? Guilty or not guilty?
I plead guilty.
Okay.
I made a mistake and I plead guilty.
Okay, so Mr. Johnson, with regard to the failure to pay on your arrearages, how do you plead to the charge that you failed to pay your front of the court arrearages as ordered? Guilty or not guilty?
I plead guilty, but I was trying to find a job.
All right. Do you understand that you are entitled to have a trial and you cannot be convicted unless evidence at your trial proves that you are guilty? Do you understand that?
I understand that, ma'am.
Okay, and once again, I said you're entitled to have an attorney. Do you wish to have an attorney appointed? No?
I'm all right.
All right. Do you understand if you had that trial, you would be entitled to have all the witnesses against you appear and to ask them questions? Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
I understand you're entitled to have me order any witnesses you might have to appear at your trial on your behalf. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that you would not have to say anything on your own behalf? And if you didn't testify, nothing would be held against you and no one would mention your silence. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
On the other hand, do you understand that you are entitled to testify at your trial if you want to testify?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing all that, do you wish the court to accept your guilty pleas?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So, Mr. Johnson, you have an arrearage in excess of $25,000. And you had an order that you're supposed to pay $166.70 a month on your arrearages. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. But
have you made any payments since June of 2021?
No, ma'am, I'm trying to look for, I've been looking
All
for
right.
jobs.
And Mr.
Okay.
Johnson,
I got,
when we were last here on September 19th of 22, you were, you appeared and we had picked you up on a bench warrant that time, and I released you on a PR bond, is that correct?
yes, ma'am.
And I told you to report to friend, no. And I told you to report to friend of the court upon your release from jail, is that correct?
This is the first thing I did when I went down. I gave her my address.
I have no idea what you're saying because you're talking over me. So just answer my questions. When we were in
Yes, ma'am.
court, I released you on a PR bond, yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
and I
You
told
did.
you to report to friend of the court when you got released from jail, yes or no?
Yes, I did. I did report to him. But,
Okay. And then did you appear for the hearing on October 17th of 22?
no, ma'am, I didn't. I did report to him.
Okay, I accept your pleas. They've been given understandably, voluntarily, accurately, and knowingly. You have full knowledge of your rights. You have waived your right to an attorney repeatedly. Is there anything you'd like to say before the court passes sentence?
Yes, ma'am. I did report to him. And I've been looking for a job since I've been home, since I've been out. But it's hard when you got a felony. No, I don't want to hire people with a felony. And I go to my probation
I have
officer
a
all the
list
time.
of over 400 companies that will hire a felon in the state of Michigan. So most of
But
my
I asked
probation and parolees have a job.
So I asked my probation officer to help me out to find a place where I can get a job. Because I go report to Mike Stevenson every month. I have no problem with reporting to him. I put him every month to make sure I can find me a job. So then I'm asking, if my kids are born in Ohio, how am I getting jeopardized in 2 states? I'm born in Ohio. This is Michigan. So I'm getting jeopardized in both states. So I'm paying for both states. Because if the kids are born in Ohio, how can Michigan get me for Ohio? That's what I was wondering. They're born out of Ohio. The kids are born in Ohio, and now Michigan picking up Ohio. So basically, Ohio got a case and Michigan got a case. So both of them got cases on me. So I'm not complaining about me not complying what I need to do. I'm not complaining about that. I just gotta find a job. That's all I'm trying to do, just find me a job so I can pay this off. I don't got a problem paying it off as soon as I find a job, because every time I do get a job, I have them take it right out of my checks. So I have to deal with the courts. If you look at it, they take it straight out of my checks. Every time I get a job, they take it straight out of my check. That's how I got it set up as. I'm taking it right out of my check. And I'm being honest about that, but that's how I do that. I'd rather do it like that so they know they're getting their money. Once I get a job, they know they're getting their money. That's how I do mine all the time. I make sure they get it right out the check. So I don't gotta be worrying about dealing with it. Coming to court, they get it right out of my check. That's how I set up at my jobs. So that's what I've been doing, trying to set up like that at my jobs.
All right, well, it's sentence of court that you will serve 30 days in Lenawee County Jail. I'll give you credit for 1 day already served. Obviously, I'm much more interested in you paying down your child support than serving any time in jail. So if you pay $750 to the front of the court, you may be released. All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I can't get a job.
Right, who do I have from the jail, please? Mr. Mota?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Malaro, I do have Mr. Mota.
Judge, can I do a quick breakout with Mr. Mota?
Sure. All right, so I am going to open up breakout room. And Mr. Mota, I will assign you and Mr. Malaro to that breakout.
Thank you, Judge.
Miss Adams, I can take the other pickups as we go. I think I had Tony Rowe. And Justin Clement.
Okay.
I don't think Christina Morgan turned herself into the jail as she was supposed to, but we can check on that. And what case are you waiting for? Yeah.
That's my grandson,
Okay.
Mota.
Okay. All right, who do I have from the jail?
Justin Clement.
All right, let me grab it. All right, this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Justin Douglas Clement, file number 2021-20424FH. Mr. Clement, we are here today on a contempt of court proceeding with a motion affidavit and bench warrant for failure to appear for sentencing on August 5 of 2022. So, Mr. Clement, I am not aware whether or not, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't turn my video on. I am not aware at this time whether or not absconding charges have been issued against you. Do you know if you've been arraigned on absconding charges or?
Your Honor, my court date was for the 7th, and then all of a sudden
Mr. Rowe, or Mr. Clement, that's not what I asked you. I asked you, do you know if you're being charged with absconding for failure to appear?
I don't, Your Honor.
Mr. Sneed, I don't know if you're able to tell Mr. Clement, I have a contempt of court for failure to appear for sentencing. But I don't know if you know if, are you able to check if he has an absconding charge for failure to appear for sentencing?
Yeah, I'll look it up now, Judge.
Okay, so Mr. Clement, you did appear for your pre-sentence report, so I do have a pre-sentence report available. So on the contempt of court for failure to appear for sentencing, the maximum penalty could be up to 93 days in jail and or a $7,500 fine. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, Mr. Murphy represented you on the underlying file. Do you want an attorney appointed to represent you for contempt of court?
Yes, Your Honor, because I would like to, maybe I could get it all put together as
Yeah,
part of my
that makes-
sentencing.
Yep, that makes sense. Okay, so Miss Adams, since we do have the pre-sentence report, when would be the next available day for sentencing for Mr. Clement?
All right. We can do Friday if you'd like, April 21st.
Okay, so Mr. Clement, I'm going to set you for sentencing on April 21st of 2023 at 8:15 in the morning.
Yes, ma'am.
We'll have Mr. Murphy here on that day with you. And we'll discuss the contempt court with you as well. All right?
Thank you, Judge.
All right, and I'll enter a plea of not guilty on the contempt of court. Mr. Sneed, were you able to ascertain whether or not an absconding charge was issued against Mr. Clement?
I did not see any charges issued or pending.
Okay, very good. All right, Mr. Clement, we'll see you back for sentencing on April 21st at 8:15 in the morning. Your bond is continued. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
And I also have Mr. Rowe, I believe, down there on that floor. Okay. All right. All right, so let me grab Mr. Mota's file. All right, this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Louis Martin Mota, file number 2020-19945FH. And Salvatore Malaro appearing on behalf of Mr. Mota. This is the date time set for a violation of probation. Pre-trial, yes. So, Mr. Malaro, have you had a chance to speak with Mr. Mota?
I have, Your Honor.
All right, and how would you like to proceed on behalf of Mr. Mota?
Your Honor, Mr. Mota has pending charges represented by a Samuel Bennett. Those are scheduled for May 24th. I'm going to ask the court to adjourn this to May 24th for a pretrial. There's an issue that Mr. Mota has brought to my attention. I'm going to talk to Mr. Jones about it and see if we can have this resolved at that time.
All right, so I will continue the not guilty plea and set this matter for pretrial on May 24th at 8:30 in the morning. So Mr. Mota, we'll see you back on that day, all right?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
Thank you, Judge.
So ma'am, we'll be back on May 24th at 8:30 in the morning, all right? You're welcome.
Have a good day, sweetheart.
Okay, you too. All right, so Mr. Malaro, Reginald, Allen, do you have Rodney Allen too?
I have Rodney Hill.
Oh, Rodney, no, I'm sorry. Let me bring in Mr. Hill. See, this is, no, maybe not. All right, Mr. Merritt, I'll be with you in a minute. All right, I have a gentleman in a car. Can I have your name, please?
Rodney Hill.
Good morning, Mr. Hill. You read your file. All right, this is in the matter of people of the state of Michigan versus Rodney Lamont Hill. We have two file numbers, 22-21189FH and 22-21190FH. I have Salvatore Malaro appearing on behalf of Mr. Hill, Isaac Sneed appearing on behalf of people. Mr. Malaro, I do have a memorandum from Darren Coast, our pretrial services coordinator, stating that Mr. Hill is compliant with his drug testing twice weekly and consistently clean on his testing. He's doing well. So, Mr. Malaro, how do you wish to proceed today on behalf of Mr. Hill?
So Judge, Mr. Hill and I met yesterday. We have like a plea offer that we are at 95%, but I think after he left, I think it would be better if we scheduled this for a bench conference, because there's one issue Mr. Hill would like addressed that I think only the court can make a decision on, not the prosecutor.
Okay. So what I will do is set Mr. Hill for another pretrial on May 24, which is my next available date at 8:30 in the morning. And Mr. Malaro, if you can just have your staff schedule a bench conference with myself, you, and whichever prosecutor is assigned to this file, because we do that any other time.
Yeah. Rodney, are you still on a pet tether?
No.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so based on what we talked about, Rod, we gotta get the judge's input on that issue, okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Hill, for your patience this morning, and you have a good day.
You too.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Rod.
Mr. Malaro, you'll do the stip in order, correct?
I will, Your Honor.
All right, let's get Mr. Allen in. So I have Reginald Allen. Mr. Allen, if you want to go ahead and unmute your device.
Yes, sir, come Josh.
Okay, thank you. So this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Reginald V. Allen, file number 2022-20967FH. I have Salvatore Malaro appearing on behalf of Mr. Allen. I have Isaac Sneed appearing on behalf of the people. So, Mr. Malaro, how do you wish to proceed today?
Judge, I received an offer from the prosecutor's office that I've yet to review with Mr. Allen. It is not through any fault of his. So I'd ask if we could adjourn this one more time. He's been pretty good about staying in touch with me. I can review this offer with him, see if we can get this resolved.
All right, so Mr. Allen, I am going to adjourn this to May 31 at 8:30 in the morning. And Mr. Allen, make sure you stay in contact with Mr. Malaro to discuss that. And we'll see you back on May 31 at 8:30 in the morning. Mr. Malaro, you do the step in order to adjourn?
Yes, Judge.
All right, very good. All right, Mr. Allen, you are all set.
Okay. Can I have a break off with Mr. Malaro?
Not this morning, but you can call his office and set up a time to speak with them.
Actually, you can call right now, Mr. Allen. I think this was my last file.
Mr. Allen, he said if you wanted to go to his office right now, he would be able to talk to you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Allen.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
Hold on, Mr. Malaro, who has, let me see. Lieutenant Allen. Hold on. So, Mr. Malaro, I think that's all you had this morning, right?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so Mr. Merritt, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Timothy Joe Merritt, file number 2020-20099FH. So Mr. Merritt, we are here today on, and I do not have your court-appointed attorney yet. So today is your rearrangement on a contempt of court. So I wanted to go over what we talked about yesterday with you. So, sir, we were here yesterday on a contempt of court for failure to appear for circuit court pretrial on April 21 of 2021. Do you understand that?
Yep.
All right, so Mr. Merritt, a contempt of court for failure to appear can carry a maximum penalty of up to 93 days in jail if you plead guilty or found guilty. Do you understand that?
Yep.
All right, so Mr. Merritt, you had asked for court-appointed counsel yesterday, and Matthew Murphy is your current attorney. So I am waiting for Mr. Murphy at this time. So as soon as he gets here, I'm going to bring you back in.
Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
I may, Mr. Murphy looks like he's going to be a while in Judge Olsaver's court, so I can handle this.
Oh, thank you. All right, so Mr. Merritt, Mr. Murphy, we have a murder trial going on in my benchmate's court. So Mr. Murphy is down there. So I do have Mr. Malaro, who is a senior trial public defender, available. So Mr. Malaro, he had a case, and we had a pretrial scheduled for April 21st of 2021 that it is alleged he failed to appear for. Going back, Mr. Murphy had filed a motion to reduce bond back on February 1 of 2021. Mr. Merritt was arraigned on charges of felonious assault and R&O. Mr. Merritt was released on that day and given a PR bond. His pretrial release order and his paperwork for the jail. Let's see here. gave him 2 orders, one to take his medication as prescribed, and one, the second thing would be a curfew between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. And it also had his next court date of April 21st of 21 at 8:30.
This might be the wrong one. I don't have any medications to be prescribed or told to take, so I don't think that's the right paperwork for me, because I've never had medication.
If you don't have any medications prescribed to you, then you wouldn't have to take them. So, Mr. Malaro, that's the status of this case. Would you like a breakout room with Mr. Merritt?
I would, Judge. Thank you.
Okay, so Mr. Merritt, I'm going to change your screen name because I have a couple of jail windows open. So give me just a moment. And Mr. Merritt, I am going to pop you and Mr. Malaro into a breakout room. I think because you're on Polycom, you will automatically go. So Mr. Malaro, Mr. Merritt, just open the breakout room. Yep, he automatically. Morning, Mr. Bennett. You're here on, let's see.
Gary
we have
Shoemate.
Yeah, we have a pre-trial at 10:30 on Mr. Shoemate. So you're about a half hour early. Mr. Bennett, I also wanted to ask, I just had one. You represent a Mr. Louis Mota on a bunch of new files, is that correct?
I've never heard of that name.
Is it Mota? Or was it, hold on. Oh, wrong Bennett.
Okay,
I just forget there's 2 defense attorneys named Bennett, sorry. All right,
Yeah.
so your hearing's at 10:30, so we're not quite ready for you yet.
right. I had spoke with Phoebe, and we're just gonna get a trial date. I don't know when my guy's gonna log in. I just logged in now, so I was ready when you're ready.
Right, it's scheduled for 10:30, so I'll take it
Right.
at 10:30.
Perfect.
Okay, so you can either zoom back in or, I mean, if you can get him to log on now, that's fine. Actually, he just popped in. So Mr. Sneed, do you have any objection to handling this?
No, Judge, thank you.
All right, let me close that breakout room, bring Mr. Merritt back. And I got Mr. Hopkins, can you hear me?
Yep. Yeah, I can hear you.
Excellent. All right. So, all right, this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Christopher Nicholas Hopkins. This is the date and time set for a motion hearing that I do not have. So we will treat this as a pretrial. I have Jeffrey Bennett, P number, what's your P number, Mr. Bennett?
My P number is P43946, but my client is Mr. Shoemate.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I guess I was looking at the wrong file. I do not have Mr. Shoemate. Mr. Hopkins, I'm going to pop you back in the, John Glazier is your attorney, right?
I'm not sure.
I think it's Glazier. All right, hold on. All right, I'm sorry, Mr. Bennett.
Okay.
When he gets here, I'll call him. Okay. Miss Adams, I've got paper in the wrong file again. Oh, Miss Adams, could you come here, please? Mr. Glazier, I do have Mr. Hopkins, so give me just 1 second. Okay. All right, so let me grab, all right, so Mr. Glazier, in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Christopher Nicholas Hopkins, file number 2023-21228FH. I have John Glazier, P36684, appearing on behalf of Mr. Hopkins. And I have Mr. Bayonetto.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Alexander Bayonetto. What's your P number, Mr. Bayonetto?
85902.
Right, appearing on behalf of the people. So, Mr. Glazier, how do you wish to proceed with Mr. Hopkins?
I'll need to speak with him, Your Honor, by Zoom.
All right, so Mr. Hopkins, I am going to open up the breakout room for you to speak with Mr. Glazier. So hold on, guys. All right, I'm gonna open a breakout room. Go ahead and join that breakout room. All right, Mr. Malaro. I'm gonna see, because you have Mr. Murphy, right? I'm gonna see if Mr. Malaro will take your case today too, all right?
Okay.
All right, so Mr. Merritt, have you had a chance to speak with Mr. Malaro?
Yep.
All right, Mr. Malaro, how do you wish to proceed today on behalf of Mr. Merritt?
So, Your Honor, we're gonna, Mr. Merritt's gonna stand mute on the failure to appear charges, ask this be set for a pretrial with his other matters. And I think it sounds like there are additional charges coming.
Okay, how far out would you like another pretrial?
Well, I would just say, Judge, if the courts can put this on the docket for his other file that's pending, maybe can all get resolved. There's an unresolved file, I think.
What file number is that?
20-20099FH.
Yeah, that's this file. So you just want me, he might have some new charges in district court, are you saying?
It appears that way, yes.
Okay, so I can set both of these for pretrial, May 10 at 8:30 in the morning. Is that all right, Mr. Malaro?
That would be great, Judge.
All right, so Mr. Merritt, I'm going to enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf for the contempt of court. And I will set both of these for May 10 at 8:30 in the morning for pretrial and rearrangement. All right, Mr. Merritt?
Yep.
All right, thank you, Mr. Merritt. We'll see you back then. Thank you. So, Mr. Malaro, I do have a gentleman in the courtroom. He's been here since about 8 o'clock, and I understand with the trial going next door, we're kind of delayed, but Mr. Murphy has a lot of cases in front of Judge Olsaver, and it's Blake Anthony William Barton, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you be able to handle Mr. Barton for Mr. Murphy today?
I am, Your Honor. Mr. Murphy's asked me to handle that.
Excellent. All right, so sir, do you want to come up to the podium? All right, this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Blake Anthony William Barton, file number 2023-21272FH. Mr. Glazier's or Mr. Malaro, and I think it's Mr. Bayonetto. Is this your file too?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So I have Salvatore Malaro appearing on behalf of Mr. Barton today, Mr. Murphy, and I have Alexander Bayonetto appearing on behalf of the people. This is a date and time set for a pretrial in this matter. Mr. Bayonetto, what is the plea offer that's been made in this file?
Your Honor, the plea offer is as charged to the OWI, noli pros the DWLS.
So plea to one.
The OWI is charged, yep.
A third or, yeah. So count one, a third offense, OWI?
Yes.
Okay. And so that's a 5-year felony. And is there any other offer regarding a killer brew or anything?
I never got that far with Mr. Murphy. I'd be open to it if Judge Counsel
I just wanted to write that down for my files purposes. All right, so Mr. Malaro, how do you wish to proceed today with Mr. Barton?
Judge, we're going to ask to adjourn the matter at least one more time This appears from the notes that this is the first pretrial. So I don't know that there's any time issue.
That's fine. All right, and Miss Adams, Mr. Barton is present today, so I can get if I could get a notice of hearing along with Zoom instructions. All right, so Mr. Barton, my next available is May 10th at 8:30 in the morning. So I will set this over for pretrial on May 10 at 8:30 in the morning. Mr. Barton, I will also give you Zoom instructions. So you can appear via Zoom if you can. You can use a laptop, computer, an iPad, a phone, whatever you would like. But you're more than welcome to come sit in the courtroom all morning. So we'll get a notice of hearing on that file for him since he's here, Mr. Morrow.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
All right,
I'll
so
let
just
Mr.
have a seat on that bench behind you, and then we'll get that to you. All right, so Mr. Glazier, let me close that breakout room. Mr. Hopkins. And I have, let's see, Sarah Brenner, yeah. Miss Adams, would it be possible to get Mr. Klein from the jail?
Okay.
All right, I know it's on your list. I just gave you a bunch to do. Sorry about that. All right, so in the matter of people of the state of Michigan versus Christopher Nicholas Hopkins, Mr. Glazier, have you had an opportunity to now speak with Mr. Hopkins?
Yes, I have, Your Honor.
All right, how would you like to proceed today on behalf of Mr. Hopkins?
Your Honor, he's going to plead guilty to count 1 with the understanding that count 2 would be dismissed and that there would be a killer bruta haida and no upfront jail.